Yo, what's going on, everybody? My name is Jerome, and welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Real quick, I know it's been a while. It's been a while since I've did a video. I've just been extremely busy. Formats changed, so I've been doing a lot of play testing, a lot of thinking of different things, and taking in a lot of different deck ideas and stuff like that. I played Castira for, I think, the past 2 weeks or something like that, and it was fun. But it gets kind of boring. So I wanted to play a different kind of deck. And I went to a win-a-box tournament. Ended up going x-1 playing Spright. But it is what it is, right? My loss was against, it was a deck I wasn't really expecting. It was branded Ellick. Yeah. So I lost to branded Ellick. I just didn't have the outs. I didn't open up anything that really worked. And also I got nibbed in the second game. So, I mean, I made a wrong play. I should have went for red instead of for jet, but I just went with jet anyways. And then I wasn't expecting a nib, and he nibbed me. So, it is what it is. Can't win them all. So, anyways, I decided to play Spright because Spright I thought was going to be probably the best deck of the format, just because it lost elf. It doesn't really mean that much. I mean, yeah, it slows you down just a little bit, and you don't have that recursion play every single turn. On both turns. But I figured, it can still OTK pretty easily. It can break boards pretty easily. So why not? My strategy and stuff worked really good. I just literally against Ellick, he just had the outs. You're playing against a deck that literally can fusion summon, send a card off your field to the graveyard, and just always have recursion every single turn, whereas Spright doesn't really have that anymore. So it's kind of like, obviously it's going to outgrind you, and it's going to be able to summon bigger monsters than you. So it is what it is. And they also have like skill drain and stuff. He didn't have one, but like if he had one, that's something I really can't deal with that much. So anyways, to the deck profile, start off with your boy, your 3 blues, your 3 jets, and then I think what you have to do now is play 2 red and 2 carrots. I have seen some people do 1 carrot, but honestly, that second one is needed. The first one, it kind of like is used. I'll try to show what my inboard normally looks like, but I think you do need to use 2 and 2. And it's cool too, because in game 2, if you're playing against a trap heavy deck or something like that, you can just side deck the red out and just keep 2 in, these 2 in. But if you're playing against a monster focus deck, then you take out the carrot and just keep in the 2 reds or whatnot. So it's an easy side deck option. Then you got your nimble package. So you got all these. In this build specifically, I noticed that the anglers were kind of really bad in my hand, and there was no way I can get rid of them. They were always just there, and then they were just a normal summon option. So there will be some changes I'll do to this if I do decide to play Spright again, and I'll go over to what those changes are. I did the Fenrir package. I liked it, really good, but I think that the other build might be better just because it's a way of getting the angler out of your hand, whereas if you do this build, you can't really get it out of your hand, the angler that is. And also I found myself always having either 1 or 2 of these in my hand, and I can never get it out because they always leave me, they remember that I have one in my hand, so they always just leave like at least 1 monster on my field, so I can't summon another one, which sucks. So yeah. For hand traps, we did the triple nib and only 2 ash blossoms. I wanted to keep the deck at 40, and there's been a lot of times where I always somehow, I don't know how this always happens, but when I play 3 ash blossoms, I always open up with like 2 of them. So I go down to 2, and I always see 1 of them. So except for in the game that I needed it, which was against branded branded Ellick. That was the one player I didn't see any of my neither one of these ashes to, which is funny because I always sometimes side deck 1 out and I just keep 1 in. Even when I did that against my other opponents, I somehow still opened to 1 ash, but then the one player that I needed it, I didn't see it. So 3 starter and the smashers, pretty standard. I didn't play the gamma burst in this build. Again, I just didn't have any spots for it. And then I did with the Fenrirs, I did the 3 pressured planets. These actually worked out really nice. During my testings, I've always opened up either one of these or 1 Fenrir. So basically you just I thought about this card because it's a cool way of starting, you know, the Fenrir you know, package up, because then your opponent has to deal with that. And also it's a free body on board, so if you have to use it for a link, if you kind of opened up only one level 2, you can still summon the Fenrir, summon your level 2, make sprint, and then there you go. So that kind of helps out. Also, it kind of confused my opponents because a lot of times, like literally almost every game I open up this or Fenrir, and so I would do that first for my first play, obviously. And a lot of my opponents thought that I was playing Kashtira, so they got kind of thrown off when I summoned a Spright monster after that, and they're like, "What the heck?" It's also really good too because a lot of people forget that it buffs every monster that you have, not just Kashtira's. It's not like the tier limit planet. It also buffs every monster you have, so it doesn't have to have a specific name. 3 triple tactics, still good to play in this kind of deck. 3 e-controllers. I think that these might be almost played in like almost every deck coming up, because this card is a game changer. I mean, especially if you're playing against Kashtira, you have one of these and you summon your monster, you activate your monster effect. You know, they have Kashtira, Fenrir, they're going to target your monster. You just activate, get rid of your monster, and now you can take their Fenrir, and you know, the rest is history. I did one change of heart, obviously for the Kashtira matchup, or if I had a mirror match, and yeah, pretty much. And then for the last 3 cards, did the triple imperms. Moving on to the extra deck. I did only 1 sprint. I needed to do 2 of these, but I didn't pick up one until like, I think like during the tournament or something, or maybe it was like right before the tournament, and I just didn't want to like take anything out, so I just said screw it, I'll just, you know, keep it at 1. But definitely recommend playing 2 of these instead of 1, because I did get this banished. That kind of sucked because then I couldn't go into it, but I still ended up winning. But yeah, it is smart to play 2 of those. The one dark, the one IP, sorry, and the one Nightmare Phoenix. Never made it, but Sarah just to be there. And then the Avermax, made this, I believe, once. Still a good card, but Cashiers can get over this pretty easily, and Branded can also get over this pretty easily too. So I don't know if it's all that needed anymore. I don't know, maybe. 1 Soul Sweeper, love that card. 1 Cat Shark, the other cat as well. Never made it. I'm not sure if this is actually all that good anymore, because there was never a time where I was like, man, I didn't make Mannequin Cat, because even if I did make it, there was nothing I could do with it. Like, you know, like the decks that I played against, none of them were playing anything that was Thunder or Light or Dark. Or there was one person that was playing like a Light and Dark deck, but I never even got a second turn because, like, you know, like my first turn was just enough to win, and then the same thing happened in the next game. The first turn was enough to win again. And then we had the Mosquito, we had the Sky Cavalry, still a really good card. Mosquito, really good. Never made it. I really wanted to though. I love getting Mosquito off, but there was just never an opportunity to do that. Then I did 2 Zeuses, which if you're not on 2 Zeuses yet, you need to be playing 2 Zeuses. Trust me, right? And then probably then maybe this is incorrect, but I did 3 Gigantics. The reason why I did 3 is because if I knew that I played against someone playing Unicorn, and they went through my extra deck and they saw only 2 of these, they were more than likely going to just rip 1 away, so then that leaves me with only 1. So I thought maybe playing 3 was the correct play, which I think was right, because when I did get Unicorn, they ripped away another card instead of this, because they kind of saw 3 and they're like, oh, he's gonna make it regardless. Also, I think the third one did come up, because I think I made 2 one time, and I think they both got negated, but the third one went through, and I was like, holy shit. So I don't know, maybe it's correct, maybe it's wrong, I don't know. For the side deck, 1 Ibly, got the combo off 1 time, and it felt so great. I mean, it literally won me the game. I'll describe the combo later. The 1 Red Resonator, never got it off. Mind Control. Interesting enough, the red Resonator never came up, because none of my games went into time except for the very last one, but that didn't really matter. 3 Book of Eclipse. I decided to side deck him instead of main decking him because I really wanted to try out the enemy controller instead. But you know, overall, we already know Book of Eclipse is amazing. 3 Cosmic Cyclones. I was gonna do Lightning Storms, but then I was like, wait a minute, I'm playing Nib, so I kind of don't want to conflict those two together. But then arguably the best trap card in the format yet again. I mean, this was like the best trap card like right before Power of the Elements, and now it's probably the best trap card all over again. So you gotta have to play this. I think the best option, if you are playing these, I think the best thing to do is to do these 3 and then 2 trap tricks or 3 trap tricks, so then you can have almost a guaranteed win like if you just open up with one of those. And then the last 3 is probably arguably the best trap card as well. I know some people are saying this is the best, and then some people are saying that's the best. I think they're neck and neck, and that is evenly matched. Stupid card. Honestly, I hate this card because it's just so busted. I mean, give up your battle phase to just wipe your entire opponent's field, and then they basically can't do anything next turn because they probably used every card they had. I mean, like, I don't know. I hate this card, but at the same time, it's like need it, and yeah. So my in board was mostly consisting of Sprin, a red, a carrot, and a gigantic with like a random attachment underneath it. So this was pretty much like my this is one of my inboards. This was one of my inboards that I pretty much always made in a starter. I would have a starter set. So basically on my opponent's turn, I would just starter to get another name out, which would be blue, search for a jet, or yeah, just basically search for a jet. And I did that so then I can have at least a spell negate, a monster negate, and also a bounce, because a lot of people forget Sprint's second effect is that if you have a Xyz monster in your field with one of these underneath a material, and a special summon monster, you can just detach. Well, it doesn't even have to be your opponent's special summons monster. So that's another thing too. So say if they have already a pre-existing monster in their field and you have Sprint and you do Sprint's effect and you dump Angler and you get your 2 beavers out, and say if you you made a gigantic, you get that triggers this as well. So you can just do the effect and then bounce a card back, right? Because I'm pretty sure if it's any monster, it's supposed to summon. Yep, any monster. If any monster is special summon, you can just detach it and bounce it. So a lot of people forget about that. So that was one of the fields that I ended up on. And then a very similar field was pretty much these 2 as well, but which is the IP. So this would be the same, and I think I would have a starter as well set, or a smashers. It would be either a starter or smashers, whichever one I felt like searching for off a jet. And this would be the same kind of field basically that I would pretty much go for. This field alone won me, I think, 4 games straight. Yeah, it won me 4 games straight. Yeah, it won me 4 games straight, and I think honestly a 5th game. I think I won 5 games straight. Yeah, I did. So I won 5 games straight because of this field, basically. So I don't know. It seems like a pretty simple field, but it actually works. And then the Ibli play from earlier, you basically just do your whole Spright play like normal, and then when you go for your link, you just use this. You know, usually Ibli, you give them the Ibli, and you have the IP on the field. You more than likely would have this as well with the blue. Now, if you didn't open up a red or a carrot, you probably won't have these on the field. It'll probably just be this. But what's really important is that you need to have the enemy controller for this to make it like an absolute like busted field, because more than likely they're just going to switch this to attack and then try to crash into your sprint or your IP. So I guess it'd be the IP. You just switch it back to defense with the E controller, and then now that just wastes their entire turn. I was fortunate enough to have the E controller and the freaking smashers in my opening hand to make sure that I can save myself from their normal summon and from their attack, and it worked out perfectly. But yeah, that's the entire video, guys. I'm gonna be doing another video. It's not gonna be my kind of deck. It's not gonna be my deck profile. It's gonna be my buddy's deck profile. That's going to be probably done tomorrow. And also I'm going to be doing other videos where I'm going to be bringing guest on, and I'm going to be pretty much doing like a miniature podcast about Yu-Gi-Oh, basically asking some questions, stuff like that, what they think about certain things, and giving my opinion as well and stuff like that. Hopefully you guys enjoy, and if you did, remember to like the video, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.